Good morning. Welcome to the Lorraine County Board of Commissioners meeting of October 27th, 2021. This meeting will now come to order. We'll rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation.
And our inspirational word for the day comes from Samuel. Man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart.
Thank you, Commissioner Lundy. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Here.
Commissioner Moore?
Here.
Commissioner Lundy.
Here.
Okay, A, resolutions.
Number one, investments.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Lundy. Any discussion from the board? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Number two, appropriations.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Lundy. Any discussion from the board? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Number three, transfers.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Lundy. Any discussion from the board? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Number four, advances, repayments. There were none. Number five, requisitions.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Lundy. Any discussion from the board?
Hey, we wait for a minute? I thought there was an advance. Maybe I was,
Yes, there was.
There was?
Yeah.
No, there was a transfer for the crime lab.
yeah. So I thought there was one on there.
That was,
I didn't
that-
see one
that's
this morning,
on
that's
the,
why I said.
What's
Yeah.
that?
Oh, this is a,
it goes on transfers.
I'm sorry, yes, there was, because I didn't, this is a different sheet than when I received, because when I have,
I thought it
doesn't
was
have
on
an advance.
transfers.
Oh, I thought it was on advances.
There is an advance.
Okay.
So, okay, sorry.
Yeah, there's not enough money for the crime lab, like $50,000. And
So-
I love the anticipation of a levy passing. I like that, so, for the description.
So can we withdraw our motion and second on the requisitions, and we'll go back up to number four?
Yeah, I move to withdraw the motion in the second on requisitions.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Lundy. Madam Clerk, please call the roll on the withdrawal.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Number four, advances.
Okay, so I move to reopen discussion on advances.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Lundy. Do you need a roll call on that, or just all those in favor? Okay, we're good. We're open.
We're good.
Discussion is open.
Okay.
Commissioner Moore?
No, now we vote on it, right?
Yeah.
Well, I thought we were going to, do you want to discuss?
No, just did, so we're good.
I do know that I stopped and talked to KC about this, and we had advanced them 112, we had advanced from the general fund $112,000 already. This is an additional $50,000. And in order to keep the crime lab working and processing and getting what the prosecutor's office needs to get the cases processed and going in a timely manner, that's why that's why I would be in support of advancing the money, advancing the funds to keep the crime lab going.
Pretty important. Yeah.
Okay, are you all set, Dave? We're going to roll call it again then, Madam Clerk? Call the roll?
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Okay. Number five, requisitions.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Lundy. Any discussion from the board? Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye, with the exception of number 1496, the $15,000 for the magazine Pulse.
Okay,
Voting no on that one.
all righty.
Number six, travel.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Lundy. Any discussion from the board? Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Number seven, bills.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Lundy. Any discussion from the board? Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Next item of business is number 8, authorize various personnel actions as indicated on the summary sheet for employees within the jurisdiction of the Lorraine County Board of Commissioners. At the conclusion of today's board meeting, the commissioners may recess into an executive session to discuss personnel and new hires and board appointments. The next item of business is number 9. Madam Clerk, please read the resolution into the record.
Amend resolutions number 2843, 2844, and 2845 adopted December 16, 2020, creating the tax increment financing, District 1, District 2, and District 3, Columbia Township, Lorraine County, Ohio.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Lundy. Any discussion from the board? Okay,
Didn't they have a vote Monday night? Oh. Okay, sorry.
okay. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Okay, the next item of business is number 10.
Authorizing execution, delivery, and amendment, and reinstate a TIF agreement with EWGC Development Group, LLC, relating to the service payments in lieu of taxes and construction and financing of certain public infrastructure improvements and related matters.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Lundy. Any discussion from the board? Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Okay, Job and Family Services. The next item of business is number 11. Madam Clerk, please read the resolution into the record.
Approve and enter a contract with Marxan Solutions, Inc. in the amount of $75,500 for the program marketing and media campaign for the emergency rental assistance and prevention, retention, and contingency programs to be paid from accounts TANF and ERA contract services.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Lundy. Any discussion from the board? Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye. Thank you.
Okay, next item of business is number 12.
Adopt a statement of policies for the fraud and benefit recovery plan for Lorraine County Job and Family Services effective October 1st, 2021 through September 30th, 2023, in accordance with the Ohio Revised Code 2913.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Moore. Any discussion from the board? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
I do that to throw you off, you know that.
Yeah.
Okay, you're good.
Okay. Stormwater Management District. The next item of business is number 13. Madam Clerk, please read the resolution into the record.
Accept the withdrawal of Everett M. Burgess and Beverly A. Burgess to clean and reconstruct the drainage system from Quarry Road eastward from Brown Ditch Lateral Number 1, Pittsfield Township. The viewing on November 1st, 2021, and the hearing on December 7th, 2021 will be canceled.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Lundy. Any discussion from the board? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Okay, so that was stormwater. Okay, moving on to Workforce Development Agency. Madam Clerk, please read the resolution into the record.
Approve and enter in a data sharing confidentiality agreement with ODJFS retroactive to October 1st, 2021 through September 30th, 2023. This confidential unemployment and wage record data will be used to assess outcomes for participants who are served through Ohio Means Jobs, Lorraine County.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Lundy. Any discussion from the board? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Children's Services, the next item of business is number 15.
Authorize and rescind various personnel utilizing the agency's MasterCard for the year 2021, not to exceed $2,500, in accordance with their policy and permissible expenses.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Lundy. Any discussion from the board? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
The next office is the engineer. The next item of business is number 15.
Executing the easement agreement for the perpetual repair and reconstruction of Erie Avenue Basco Bridge over the Black River, Lorraine. Construction is now complete, and ODOT has determined that the permanent easements are required for the perpetual maintenance and future improvements of the structure.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Lundy. Any discussion from the board? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Okay, C, lobby session. Welcome to the lobby portion of our meeting. In order to speak on the topic of your choice, you have had to fill out a slip and turn it into the clerk. Our one and only speaker is Mr. Charles Ogletree. Please come up to the podium and state your name and address for the record. Give me just a second to get the timer going, sir. Not ready for that, was I? Okay, Ready when you are.
All right, Charles Ochiltree, 344 10th Street, Elyria. I'm here this morning to remind Commission President Hung, her colleagues, and the voters why she must resign. Michelle violated the voters' trust when she engaged in an inappropriate relationship with the direct subordinate, former 911 Director Harry Williamson, on county property, and incredibly, only weeks after being sworn in, raising questions as to whether their relationship was likely ongoing when she recommended and voted to hire Mr. Williamson in January, which she would have been required to disclose, but obviously didn't. Mr. Williamson was swiftly fired the week before this relationship became public in August of 2020. Michelle has admitted to this affair, yet seems determined to stay on as commissioner in spite of numerous calls for her to resign, many by members of her own party. Even worse, when the scandal first broke, she stated, "I am not resigning, and anyone who has actively been part of this political stunt will have to consider the consequences," an obvious threat to those who dare expose her misconduct. Further charges of nepotism regarding her brother's application for employment with the county, along with additional allegations of her unprofessional behavior and misconduct made by County Administrator Tom Williams in his lawsuit, only adds to further suspicion that she is unfit to lead Lorraine County. It's obvious that she hopes this time time will help the voters to forget, but I intend to continue to speak publicly here each week and on social media to remind the voters what she's done and to demand her resignation. I investigated an official recall effort, but quickly learned that would take quite a bit of work and taxpayer dollars, the results of which, if successful, wouldn't be realized likely until next year, even possibly 2023, allowing her to remain in office far too long. Instead, I've attempted to appeal to her moral character, hoping she would do what is right, but if not, I intend to see this through until either she does the right thing and resigns or her term expires and she is no longer in public service. It's sad to say, but we the people are losing hope in our elected officials and our public institutions. When a scandal hits the papers, no one is surprised anymore. Think of Councilman Mark Jesse, for example. Unfortunately, it's become normalized, almost expected anymore. So if this misconduct is allowed to persist and go unpunished, it only encourages our elected officials to continue abusing the people's trust in pursuit of their own ambitions. We can't pretend that nothing has happened and ignore the truth. She must be held accountable. Will you resign today? Since I know you won't answer me during these public comments, maybe you can make a statement during your commissioner's report. Thank you.
Moving on to reports, D, County Administrator, Mr. James R. White. Do you have a report for us today, sir?
Just a very short one. Hello, Commissioners, how are you? I continue to meet with the directors, been keeping a very busy schedule, 5 one-hour meetings a day or so with them. Wanted to just reiterate what I said last week. Got a great team in place, people that are very dedicated. I'm very proud to serve with them. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Administrator. Mr. Assistant County Prosecutor.
I was going to ask him some
sorry.
questions in regards to his meetings.
Okay.
When did you meet with Barb?
I've met with her yesterday.
And she never brought up the fact that she sent a memo out saying that employees can work from home?
She did not.
I called you last night and asked you, are you aware that one of your directors are creating policy without this board knowing it? And you said you had no idea. And at 9:30 this morning, you told me that, yes, you are allowing them to, I'm sorry, you guys want to meet some more on this? Because it's my understanding that the decision was made outside this public hearing room, allowing employees to work. Now, over the summer, we started to see these key performance indicators showing that work performance increases when you're in the office, not out of your home. So my understanding is you did talk to Barb,
This morning, correct.
and she said a commissioner called her up and said it was okay to do it.
That's correct.
Now, why are we doing that? I mean, shouldn't this be a public discussion or not? I don't know, I'm asking. And he was not even advised.
We were asked by Rob Weber in executive session on this issue, and we gave direction in that meeting.
In executive
In
session?
executive session,
Was that when
that
I
it was a
sick that day?
hybrid. No,
Must
you
have
were
been
there. I
September?
think you were there.
No,
Was
I
he
would
there?
never agreed to go back to working out of your homes.
I don't
we
recall
discussed,
whether you were present or not, but there was a
hybrid.
conversation with Rob Weber about doing a hybrid approach. You know, I guess we're not really supposed to discuss executive session stuff, but
Let's maybe stay away from executive session.
Well, this is an executive session
This is an
discussion.
executive session.
right.
Well, I think it's personnel related, so I think it's appropriate for executive session. I don't know that the counting noses is the who said what in executive session.
I'm not worried about that. I'm just worried about a decision was made in regards to allowing employees to work. The
and-
county administrator didn't know about it.
I think this was-
And I had to find out about it yesterday.
I will try and choose my words carefully here. I recall a discussion in executive session before Mr. White was retained in his current role.
Right.
I recall that. I believe I recall who was in the room, and we can talk about that later if we'd like, and I can fill you in. I do not want to get too much into the
Okay,
depths.
that's
I will
fine.
say, if you guys don't mind, I will say that, excuse me for taking some of your time, Chair.
Oh, it's
Oh,
fine.
he was done anyway, right?
Yeah, I was there.
He thought he was done. I do think that talking about work rules is absolutely appropriate as part of the personnel matters in executive session. I do, yeah. So I don't have a problem with that since that was raised. And we can talk when we're done, and I'll
Okay.
fill you in on what I remember. from
That would be
that.
nice.
Yep.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I understand. Thank you, Commissioners.
Yep.
The Assistant County Prosecutor, Mr. Dan Petticord.
I have no real formal report, but I will say from my own perspective, the fact that JR is here and working and doing the job has been very pleasant for me, I will say that. So I appreciate you being here. I'm sure we will continue to meet entirely too often, but I appreciate you being here, so thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you. Commissioners report. Commissioner Moore, do you have a report today?
No.
Okay, and for my report, I can just say the feedback from the directors has been outstanding, Administrator White, so thank you. We're glad you're here. Commissioner Lundy.
Yeah, I'd first like to send out the sympathies from this board to the family of Sam Tunis. I think anybody who's ever interacted with the veterans community in the county certainly has gotten to know Sam. I got to know Sam way back in the 90s. He was a close personal friend of John Bender, and I became a close personal friend of his as well, too. And that's how I first got to know Sam and his amazing wife, Libby. Just a great couple. You would always find them at veterans events. I know that he was very involved with the American Legion here in Elyria. Back in the kitchen, you'd find him whipping up his spaghetti recipes and the fish fries and the burgers. And I know he served on a lot of boards as well, too, along with the Office on Aging and United Way and even the CHIP board. So it's a big loss for the community. And he definitely was somebody who cared deeply about our county. And we want to remember him in our prayers. Also would like to recognize Greg White, our former county prosecutor. He was inducted into the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame, which is, I got to tell you, it's a huge honor because I think they only take so many candidates, or only so many inductees a year for that. And it's quite a review process. And I know I've been there for a ceremony in the past down in Columbus when I was down there. And it's, as they say, it's a big deal. And it's so good for him to be recognized for his public service and also his service to our country.
Only 4 people, I think, in the Lorraine County. Was it 4 ever, right?
Yeah, it's a very small
It is a
number.
huge honor. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah. Also wanted to point out the Veteran Services Commission for the veterans in the county. They're going to have a free stuffed shell and Italian sausage and meatball dinner. That will be held Wednesday, November 3rd, so a week from today, from 4 until 7 p.m. That's at the IAV, the Italian American Veterans Hall, 4567 Oberlin Avenue. Again, free stuffed shells and Italian sausage and meatball dinner. I'm hungry already. November 3rd from 4 until 7 o'clock at IAV on Oberlin Avenue in Lorraine, and it is free to veterans. So please make sure that you take advantage of that. Also, Saturday night had the opportunity to attend a really great event in the community of Avon Lake. Just want to thank Tom and Thomasina Patton, also Tony Tomanek, that whole board and volunteers that work on the Beach Park Railway Museum that they are putting together in Avon Lake. A lot of people may not realize that there was actually a railway that used to go from Cleveland all the way to Detroit, and it really sparked all the growth for Sandusky and Avon Lake, Lorraine, all along the way, and a very impressive start to the museum. They kind of did a preview or a little bit of an unveiling. Obviously, They're going to be looking for more support in the community to make this thing really grow. It's a good thing. I think it'll certainly tell the story of the important role that it's played in our communities here in Lorain County and all along the shoreline. But just an amazing turnout, and if you get the opportunity, look up the Beach Park Railway Museum and see if you can attend that through the Avon Lake Historical Society. And also want to commend everybody involved with the National Drug Take Back Day that took place over the weekend. Can't stress enough how important it is if you have medications in your cabinet that you are no longer using or don't need, that you certainly get them out of the cabinet. And if you do have them, try to put them in a place where no one can gain easy access to it. That certainly has contributed to some of the drug issues that we've had in the county, where people will open up cabinets and start looking to see what kind of drugs are available because they're just, in a bad place and addicted and looking for any way that they can to get access to drugs. So, but just want to thank everybody involved with that. And I know I didn't have a chance to drop off some of my previous prescription drugs, and I need to do some of that as well, too. So, so if you didn't get a chance to participate, mostly you can find these take-back drug locations or boxes at a lot of the police stations throughout the county. So it's easy access. It's easy to do. Just drop them in and walk away. So that
Bless
completes
you.
my report.
Thank you, Commissioners. Our next item is G. Clerk's report. Madam Clerk, please read
tomorrow-
the- Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
You go ahead.
Tomorrow at 9:30, you'll have your budget hearing. Tuesday, November 2nd at 9:30 will be the Commissioners' hearing on the Timber Creek TIF. And then the following Thursday, November 4th at 9:30,
Okay,
final budget hearings.
well, G, board correspondence. I will move to waive the reading of the board correspondence due to an executive session we have scheduled.
Even though I'd like to have it read, I'll reluctantly second that motion.
I'll
Who's seconding?
Second.
Matt?
ready to. What, to read it or not read it?
Would you like to read it?
No, I'm just,
You want me to read
We
it?
just tease her every once in a while.
Yeah, so the public knows we're teasing the clerk because it's very, very long.
Long. I don't want to sit here and listen to you read it, so. I will say it would be illegal
I will
to
make
read
a
board
motion to
correspondence. How
consent to
about
that part of the agenda, huh?
Okay, motion was made by Hung, seconded by Lundy. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Thank you.
At least he didn't vote present, right,
Right.
Teresa? Okay. At this time, I move to adjourn into executive session to discuss personnel issues, employment, and new hires.
Second.
Motion,
I'm sorry, Commissioner, I just realized I may have made a mistake real quickly. Can I ask Alan Schaefer to come up? Alan, were you here to speak to the commissioners?
No, just as
Okay.
part of the prior resolutions that were considered.
I'm sorry, okay, thank you. I didn't know if we needed to talk about current litigation in executive session.
no, I thought he was here to talk about the TIFs, if indeed it came up in,
Yeah, okay, I
when the,
understand.
when
I
the
understand now.
resolutions came up.
We're conflicted out of that, as you know, so I wanted to
Okay.
make sure I knew what was going on, so, thank you. I apologize, Commissioner.
But it's always nice to see you, Alan. Thank you for coming. Okay. Did we second that?
Yes, we do.
Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
yes.
Who was this? Okay, we've returned from executive session and our meeting is back in session. I move to approve the personal summary sheet.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Lundy. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Lundy,
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Meeting announcements. The next regularly scheduled board meeting is Wednesday, November 3rd at 9:30 a.m. Is there any further business from this board?
Don't forget to vote.
Since there's no further business, this meeting is adjourned.